world domination, so being a bit bigger than Alibaba, so perhaps not. So anyway, you probably know what Suunto is. Suunto does these sport products, watches, which enables you to climb to Mount Everest and run a marathon under 2 hours or dive into 100 meters or whatever is your thing. Most probably you know also that these products are always connected to digital space. So basically, if you run yesterday a local run, the data goes to the cloud and you are able to analyze afterwards what you did. You are able to plan your routes or plan your training in one place. The background is that we basically know what customers do. The background is that this digital solution is the key asset for us to be connected with customers 24/7 and actually build new kind of things based on that customer understanding. So today, my talk is how we are trying to be customer-driven. Not even customer-centric, but customer-driven. The point being, trying to outsource a lot of things that normally the company itself does to the consumers. That's truly the way of actually making things work in a way that the customers want them to work, because we don't know, customers know. So basically, if you think about the business, you need to understand what is business. Business is about reaching new people, being engaged with them, and building new value that you are actually able to make a bit of money because you need to still, give food to yourself. So first of all, I think this is the first example which is almost any company nowadays does. It basically starts from the how the media is nowadays used. So customer use the media is not the thing. The customer is the media. So basically, if you find out Suunto somewhere, the most probably is that the first contact with Suunto is actually your friend who did an Ironman race, and he shares it on Facebook or WeChat or whatever is your social media, or he shares a YouTube video or does a blog post. Most important thing is he does not talk about Suunto in here. He talks about his own experience, and his friends is probably interested of that. So, but that is a first step into the world of Suunto. It's evident that when you basically share, your marathon race results in a Facebook, that is a step to our digital space. So, what did you actually do? What was your running time, and what was your heart rate, etc. So the people who actually see this anyway know that Suunto is somehow involved. But it's not Suunto trying to sell you something. It's not a Suunto advertisement. When your friend has bought a new car, you are envy of him and you want to buy a better car. It has a meaning of an advertisement. It's much different thing than the car salesman telling you to buy a new car. So here, the role of consumers is actually drive the traction and reach for the new consumers. And there, the model goes that if you start to learn about our products and offerings, then you are able to turn into a buyer, buying a Suunto products. And of course, this is how the social media is working and how many companies are anyway using the social media. Now, when we talk about product and product R&D and design work, of course, we do that when we are designing a new product, we have a focus groups and we do research and we try to understand, is it the black watch or white watch that is the most interesting? And then we make black and white. And then we have variants, and when you go to the local Intersport, you are able to find the product that suits you. So you could say that, well, this is pretty nice. This is a customer-centric way of doing design. I think that's bullshit. If you are a fan of Jokeri ice hockey team, you might want to have a watch that is red, yellow, and blue. And that's fine, if that's your thing. Why not having red, yellow, and white, blue, or whatever is Jokeri ice hockey club colors? So shouldn't you be able to do the design yourself? So that's why Suunto nowadays, when you go to suunto.com and you would like to actually create your own products, you are able to do the design for yourself. So you are able to customize the straps and buttons and the bezels and whatnot in order to have a selection of your, from 1 million combination and make that ice hockey team's favorite color product in your wrist. We don't judge you. So obviously, every business thinks about how do we actually bring the money to the table. So the customer is there to actually give you money. You try to build something and then they pay you. Nowadays, for us, if you start to think about what's the value that customer brings, it starts to be the customer brings the data. So just an example. In a sense, when you think about the GPS watch, the role of the GPS watch is helps you to navigate. It helps you to go to the certain routes and find your best place to run and ride. But if you think about our role is actually trying to help people to find those best places to run and ride or swim or do whatnot. And then when you look at the normal starting point, is this kind of map. So if you are in the Helsinki region and you would have a car, it would be easy to find the fastest course from Ruoholahti to Pasila, because there's the biggest road, so you follow the car, follow the biggest road. Now, but if you want to do trail running, or if you would like to do surfing or open water swimming, where would you go? If you would be a person from other side of the world, you would not know where to go. Now the background is that since we have these digital solutions and these devices are connected to the internet, we basically have a couple hundred millions of logs with the GPS data. So by turning that data into value for you guys, we are able to build something like this. So for example, this is a trail running heat map. This shows you the best places to run in trails in Helsinki. So you can see that the Central Park is there, so you can follow the nicest trails. Or if you want to do cycling, if you, let's say you would work in a Helsinki city department and figuring out how you should optimize the cycling routes in Helsinki, I think that's better data than anything else that you can find. So you can see how people are riding in Helsinki. Or if you do a trail riding, so with mountain biking, it's a pretty similar trail running map. Or you can identify actually that there's once in a year, there's a triathlon race just in center of Helsinki. So you can see that close to Olympic Stadium, the guys are swimming, running, and cycling. And then obviously, if you would like to see that where actually are the cross-country skiing routes being maintained, you can see again the Central Park there. And I guess one of the best examples of the power of the consumer data here is the surf and beach. So basically surfing, stand-up paddleboarding, etc. So you can actually see Munkkiniemi area for surfers, and then basically the Töölölahti region for stand-up paddleboarding. I think it's a good example of how the data itself has been turned into new value, and the biggest point being that when we have those consumers on board, we are actually able to do something like this. Now, of course, this goes then to the route planning, and you are able to then navigate with your watch. Now, as I started to talk about consumer-driven business, and the effort there to actually make this happen is that you need to figure out the mechanisms. You are not focusing on the end solution, but you actually mechanism how things can happen. Now when we think about mechanisms and processes, etc., obviously you come back to that, what is actually your own role? So when it comes to Suunto, and we want to be bigger than Alibaba, we have a lot of things. We are a technology house. So for example, this is a Suunto heart rate belt. This heart rate belt is packed with different kind of things. It has been an R&D work of several years. So basically, that belt is waterproof for 100 meters. It's over-the-air updatable. We have software tools to actually create new features within that belt. It's mass manufacturing capability. You are able to produce these hundreds and hundreds of every minute if you need. But we do sport. But that technology within that button is something that could be utilized in many, many different places. So the question is, how could we sell this button to the end consumers when our role is work in sports? So that's why we have partnered. Our role is here just a technology provider. So basically, this is Reima working with kids activity monitoring. This is Kaurila using the same button to monitoring dogs. We are not selling dogs to dogs. We try to sell to dogs, but they don't buy it. So, or even Kemppi with welding, they are able to monitor how much the welding machine has been used because that button provides the information on that. So we are just trying to find mechanisms where Suunto can be relevant and not trying to do ourselves all the things. Thank you.